Hi, and welcome to White Table Catering's Dinner Box Experience. My name is Mark Pruger, and I'm going to be running through with you all of your steps for plating, along with some tips and tricks. Let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, we're going to need to put everything in its place. In the French culinary world, we call that mise en place. Once we have everything in our place, we can be organized with executing our dishes. On the top of your card that came with your box, it will indicate what you need in order to be prepared. In this case, you'll need a cutting board, chef knife, plates according to the entrees and dishes that you've selected, and then as well, a pot of boiling water, a baking tray with parchment. We have a frying pan ready to go, lightly oiled, and then we also set our oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and now we're ready to start. Let's get cooking. All right, so here are the items that are associated with your heirloom tomato and burrata salad. You'll find some sourdough croutons. These are microgreens. Your heirloom tomatoes. This is burrata cheese, which will look a little liquid, but that is burrata cheese. It has a firm exterior and a soft interior, which is what makes it very unique and delicious. This is cucumber caviar, grapefruit segments, and then also in these two cups you're going to have champagne vinaigrette and herb oil for the garnish. Okay, let's start plating the burrata tomato salad. So we'll start with the burrata cheese. I've just sliced off the top with a knife here, and I'm going to use a spoon to grab about 3 pieces of burrata on there. Now burrata is very loose in the center and firm on the outside. It gives it a unique texture. So you're going to see that there's a bit of firm components to it as well as loose, and just kind of allow both to hit the plate. Okay, next we're going to grab the tomatoes. And with these heirloom tomatoes, just create a nice circle around the cheese and throughout the cheese. You can switch between the different colors, create some contrast. So we have a nice circle going here. These tomatoes, that's exactly what we want there. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to grab that cucumber caviar. We're going to cut the top off of that. And the same thing with the cucumber. We're going to grab a spoon, give that a quick wipe. We got a nice pile so that you can see the color of that cucumber next to the tomatoes. All right. And our grapefruit segments, same thing, cut the top. Grab some pieces and fire them just right in between. That's going to make the salad pop. Put that one down back here, like that right there. Perfect. Okay, and then before we put down the sourdough croutons, I'm going to grab a bit of this champagne vinaigrette. Again, giving my spoon a wipe. I'm going to dress those tomatoes and burrata lightly with the dressing there. And then also, I'm going to give it, we'll start with these croutons here. Croutons will go on top of that dressing. This will give the salad a nice crunch. All right. And the herb oil. Kind of just give it a bit of a drizzle on the outside. I like plating this on a lighter plate so that you can see the contrast of that herb oil throughout. Okay. touch of salt, and finish with some microgreens. You can get some height with these, add some variety. Those are really nice. I'm gonna add some more of those. All right, and one more. I'm liking that. Okay, wipe that plate there. Okay, that is your tomato burrata salad. Understanding the sous vide method, what this means is that we've already prepared your food. It's cryovac, it's gonna seal in flavor, it's gonna stay more moist. And so a lot of the cooking here has been pre-done and only requires you to put it into water, which will heat it up without overcooking or burning or losing any of that flavor. So you'll notice inside the boxes, a lot of these items are sealed, vacuum sealed, and ready to go. All right, here are the items associated with your short ribs. Of course, we have short ribs, and these are potatoes, potato dauphinoise, demi-glace. This is parsley and lemon zest, which you'll chop up to make gremolata. Peas and asparagus, caramelized onions, and potato puree. Let's get started. Okay, so for the short ribs, what we're gonna do is I brought the water to a boil and then I turned it off. So the water is hot, but it's no longer boiling. And I'm gonna put in some of these items for the beef dish. It'll be the short ribs, the caramelized onions, truffle jus, and potato puree. So just put those items into the water, lid on, and we'll go on to our next step. Okay, so the next step will be the dauphinoise potatoes. Dauphinoise potatoes, we're going to open up, place that on the bake tray, and place that into your oven. Now that's going to take about 10 minutes to cook to get crispy and hot in the center, as well as the same for the short ribs and all those items that went in there, so it should come out at the same time. So now that 10 minutes has gone by and all of our food has gotten hot, we're going to move on to the final stages of the short ribs. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop up the gremolata items. We're going to finely dice the zest. We're gonna chop up that parsley. We're gonna mix it together with some of the Maldon salt, and that'll be the final step in preparations. And so because we're that close, we're gonna fire these peas and asparagus into the water just for a couple minutes and then pull everything out at the same time. Okay, so for the gremolata, we're gonna open up this bag, slice it open at the top, pull out your parsley and your lemon zest. Get that all out of the bag here. Once you get that all up, you want to line that up. It's easier if you kind of get those strands together in one even line, so that way when you run your knife along it, you can just nicely slide and slice all of that zest in nice even pieces. For the parsley, you want to do the same thing. You don't have to cut all the way to the back of the stem, so you can start at the top and just cut nice and slowly, sliding your knife down, moving your fingertips. Little tip, if you have your thumb behind you and you have your fingers kind of clawed in and you roll the knife on your knuckle, you have a much better chance of not cutting yourself, so I recommend that. If you rock your knife, it'll go quicker for you. You might even impress your guest. Simple technique is putting your hand on the edge of the other side of the knife so it balances the knife as you rock it back and forth. That's what we're looking for. And that's your gremolata. Parsley, lemon zest. And then to that, we've got some Maldon sea salt. We're gonna mix that in there. And that will be just another pinch. That zest, the salt, the freshness of the parsley, that's gonna lift those flavors nicely. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, so we're gonna pull out our dauphinoise potatoes from the oven. They've got a nice brown crisp to them, nice gold color, so we're gonna set those aside. And now we're gonna pull out all of our hot items and we're gonna start plating the ribs together. Here I have my items: gremolata, hot potato puree, peas and asparagus, caramelized onions, demi-glaze, ribs, and our crispy dauphinoise. All right, let's go through plating the braised short ribs. So what you'll want to do is grab your potato puree and cut the edge off the top, which I've done already, but what that will do is allow you to just pipe out a good circle dollop of potato puree. Grab yourself a spoon, place it into that, and just draw back towards you. All right. And then the next thing you'll want to do is grab your dauphinoise potato and just place that on either edge of it, right there. And then place your asparagus kind of on top here. Kind of play around with it, try to get some height. Whenever you're plating anything, the more height and contrast you can get, the better it'll look. And then with your peas and your spoon, you can gently place those in between. It's more contrast, different textures. There we go. And then you'll grab the braised short rib. Place that on the other side. And then your caramelized onions are next. Again, I've just cut open a small bit off the edge of the bag there. And then you want to top that with your gremolata. That's going to give it a lot of pop, that lemon zest, salt, parsley, very tasty. Your final touch is going to be your demi-glaze and then your microgreens for garnish. So I'm just going to show you exactly what you're going to do with the demi-glaze, just right in the center there. That edge cut, just going to let it pour into a little circle there. That's all you need. And then for your microgreens, just reach into the bag and gently let some of those microgreens fall on top of the plate. There you go. That's it. You can clean it if there's anything you don't want there. And that is your braised short ribs. All right, here I'm going to show you the items that are associated with the chocolate tart dessert. Here are your chocolate tarts, already beautifully prepared. You have meringue and fresh raspberries. Okay, last but never least, dessert. So what I've done is I've already cut open these bags, and I'm going to pull out one of these chocolate tarts here. Dark chocolate tart. And placing two meringues here. It's right onto the one side here, so that I can disperse the raspberries in between and on either side, while still keeping a lot of that tart, that chocolate in view. All right. That's it for now. We hope you had a ton of fun. Thanks for cooking with us, and we'll see you next time.